Hi, I'm Kevin Gertig, City of Fort Collins Utilities. Behind me is one of the community's most precious resources, the Cache La Poudre River. During and subsequent to the High Park fire, this river and our water were at risk. Now, just 2 years after, reflecting on the High Park fire, I realize our community is not the same. It is better. Believe it or not, as manager of Fort Collins Utilities, two things were going through my mind as the fire was raging. One, Fort Collins Utilities would be there for our heroic firefighters to assist in any way possible, at a moment's notice with equipment and the finest dedicated employees in the business. And two, the brilliance and commitment of the people in this community would take nothing less than healing Mother Nature, and we would come together from all walks of life to make this happen. Here's the story.
It started as a father-son getaway.
Well, we were out on a hiking trip where the kids were doing archery and BB gun shooting.
Until around 9:30 a.m. That's when they saw this, a pillow of smoke coming up from behind the mountains.
There goes our camping ground, and look.
Due to the size and complexity of the fire, it will actually go to a Type 1 incident, which is the highest level.
Within 5 hours, it grew from 2 acres to more than 3,000 acres, and it continues to grow.
I've been with the agency for 21 years. This is probably the fire we're always concerned we might possibly have. This is our worst case scenario.
In less than 48 hours, an estimated 20,000 acres burned. More than 2,000 residents warned to evacuate.
You could see the trees and the flames really going strong, and then it crossed over on the north end of Poudre Canyon. It jumped the fire break, which prompted the evacuations. Lots of people getting out and staying out until they're told they can come back in. An intense burn on this High Park fire.
Originating among the Rocky Mountains and dropping some 7,000 feet to the Great Plains, the Cache La Poudre River is relatively short, at 125 miles from start to end. A river not that well known outside of northern Colorado, the Cache La Poudre River has been the lifeblood of this community for more than 100 years. It exemplifies the bigger picture of water's role in the American West. Its existence made settlements possible in what was a harsh but transformable environment. The formation of the river's water delivery system demonstrated 19th century ingenuity and creativity for the malleability of a river as a resource in the area and its direct tie to agricultural expansion and sustainability, ultimately leading to the widespread growth in the area. Today, nearly 150 years after early settlers began using the Poudre as a resource, it is still the lifeblood of our community. It is part of our identity and continues to bring people and industry that seek great water sources, as well as daily recreation use. It is our water supply, our recreation, an ingredient for industry of all types, and it is a part of the fabric of our community. It is our anchor to our commitment to the natural areas and protecting our wildlife ecosystems. It is the backbone of our watershed, the artery that all water in our system ends up being a part of. Throughout history, conflict and cooperation have been overarching themes that have dictated much of the progress and usage of the river over the years. The huge physical and fiscal nature of distributing such a precious resource to so many end users has forced many collaborations and feuds. Amidst conflict and cooperation, both large and small in scale, the instances of cooperation have withstood the test of time and are still a vital element to our river management today. Also, throughout history, our river has seen numerous events that have changed its impact on the communities that depend on it. Numerous fires and floods have had adverse effects on the river over the years, but it's the impact that those natural events have had on the people that rely on the river that brings us together for this video. The fires and subsequent flooding from the past few years and the impact that they have had on our river, our community, and our watershed have become challenges for the City of Fort Collins Utilities as it strives to continue to bring high-quality drinking water to all its customers. Cooperation and dedication are two key factors to the response of these natural events. To fully understand the interconnectivity of these elements, we first must ask what a watershed is and where our water comes from.
So a watershed is all of the land, like this valley here, where you have banks that were made by glaciers a long time ago that now catch water and shed it down into one particular area, whether that's a river or a lake. So the watershed of this stream includes all the hillsides around it. And the watershed for the stream, as it goes all the way down onto the other side of that mountain there, includes a lot more of the mountains and includes a lot more area that if you're monitoring it for potential water quality or for water resources, you're having to look at a much bigger area. And if you think about the Poudre watershed as a whole, you're looking at a much bigger, broader spectrum. That's everything from here to the Wyoming border and east towards Fort Collins. And the whole area collects water on the mountainsides, brings it into small streams as they bring it into the main fork of the Poudre, and that's what comes down to our diversions for water, drinking water in town, as well as what flows through town in Fort Collins.
In Colorado, like most of the western United States, the forested areas are the dominant source of water. They get more precipitation, and because erosion rates are so low, they produce very clean, very high quality water.
You know, we're very fortunate to live in a location where our water really comes, especially from the Poudre River, but also through Horsetooth, from snowpack, melt off and runoff, and it's a very high quality source of water. You know, as it exits the canyon, we divert some of that water for our use. It already comes with a pretty high quality to it. And there are businesses in our town that have come here for that reason. There's not a lot of treatment that needs to be done to maintain really high quality water.
Our standards going out of the plant are very high, so we want to make sure that that quality is not compromised at all, and it will not be compromised despite the poor water quality in the Poudre River. We've
always prided ourselves in providing high quality water above expectations that the state or federal government might have, and it has been a challenge with the recent fires, but we have continued to meet those water quality parameters and trying to, you know, doing our best to maintain that high quality of water. And it is an important part of our community.